Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler V series videos I've been doing for a little while now. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm gonna talk about stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. I had an overall pretty successful day at work, so I felt like treating myself a little bit afterwards. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside the truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means that I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. And yes, that's the case. As I just mentioned, went over there. We've been doing some extra stuff at work, and I've been taking on a few added responsibilities and such. And we had an overall successful run of things, and I was pretty proud of myself and my team. I think we did a great job. And if you watch a show long enough, you know that if I had a bad day at work, I usually like to go out and get something nice and cool and frozen to go over there and kind of lift my mood. But I found that when I have just a good run at work, kind of go the opposite route. I don't know why, but whatever. So what did I get? Where did I grab it from? Well, folks, I decided to back on out to Boom Brewpoint Coffee. Ooh, this is the Elmhurst location. And I've reviewed a few things from there before. In fact, not too long ago at the time I'm doing this, I reviewed a apple pie chai. But I've got a few other reviews from them. They are a local chain, which, because they are local to Illinois, means that they're going to end up in my Eating Out Illinois playlist, which is a playlist for just Illinois local spots. This is off their fall menu. It happens to be their banana bread latte, which consists of banana extract, vanilla, espresso, cinnamon, and your choice of milk. I got whole milk because you always get, you don't. It depends on who you are, but I always like to get whole milk. Even though, I'm good with oat milk and stuff, too. So, let's get a thing for a thing, and we'll kind of, do this thing. We're And, let's give it a go. Let's see how it is. It smells amazing, so. Okay. All right. Okay. One thing I've learned from doing enough of these videos over the years, you never want to gauge your total experience off just that first sip. The first sip is always the one that is the most misleading because it's usually either the best or worst version of the rest of the experience. The first hit had a very strong artificial banana flavor, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this all that much. It was a bit much. I'm fine with artificial banana flavor. I enjoy it in certain capacities, but I was like, again, a bit too much. But when I went in for the second sip, it had sort of subsided, and it became more manageable. And it was like, oh, okay, there we go. That's what the drink is supposed to taste like. Yeah, I can see what they're going for with it. It definitely has a defined banana flavor. You definitely get the espresso too, for sure. One of the things that I do like about Brewpoint, I'm not a big coffee person, but for one thing, if you go over there and you put together a nice drink, it is what it is. But I do appreciate that with Brewpoint, they have that nice advantage that a lot of times smaller coffee places have, where they can kind of focus a little bit more on the quality of how their coffee is actually going to taste. And even though, again, not the biggest coffee guy in the world, the espresso aspect is actually really nice. It tastes, it has a little bit of that coffee bitterness, but not enough that it's obstructing the rest of the flavors. It's just kind of working with them and adding a little bit of a contrast. And folks know I like contrasting flavors. Um, I do get the sort of banana bread thing that they're going for with it. I will say, a couple of criticisms. One, I think a little bit more cinnamon would have helped. You do get a hint of it, but and I understand you probably you don't want to overdo it, but I feel like maybe just a tiny bit underdone in this instance because I feel like the banana and the espresso are really kind of leading the way. And I feel like the cinnamon, which should be helping to back up that banana, give that, little extra banana bread-esque essence. It's there, but it's not jumping out at me quite the way I was hoping. Whereas, like, by comparison, the apple pie chai that I got a few days ago, that also had cinnamon in it, and I felt they used that perfectly. Like, it was a highlight of that experience. In this case, again, it's there, not to the extent that I would like, but still there. Yeah, I just think a little bit more, just give it a little bit more edge. Funny thing is, kind of going back to what I was talking about, I guess I have three criticisms overall. One is less a criticism, more just like a in the future hypothetical. Um, and that would be, I honestly think this probably would have been better with oat milk in retrospect. And that's not a criticism, that's just, again, me thinking forward. Because you think about, like a banana bread, well, okay, it has kind of like a nuttiness to it. A lot of times nuts are in it. So yeah, I kind of think that actually would have helped the overall experience. Again, sort of give it that banana bread, kind of essence just a little bit more. The biggest criticism I have is the banana flavoring. Although it is nowhere near as pronounced as it was with that first sip, it dials itself back to a much more manageable level. But problem is, it does carry that artificial banana flavor. It just, and mind you, I mean, that is what it is. That's, it's a banana extract. But yeah, I don't know that it really, again, maybe with oat milk, maybe with a little bit more cinnamon to sort of help it out, kind of balance it a little bit. It just feels not intrusive, but it's a bit too highlighted, and instead of really kind of helping the overall drink to really, again, be this nice, warm, cozy banana bread experience, it's just a little bit too prominent, and as a result, like, you kind of have to hone in on the fact that it is that artificial banana flavor, So, I still like the drink. It's nice. It drinks really smooth. I really like the espresso flavor, genuinely. But yeah, there's definitely tweaks that I feel can be made here to kind of make this the penultimate version of this beverage. But two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Ooh, boo, 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 boo. Yes, caveat. Maybe caveat. So here's the thing. I like the drink. It's nice. I think even as is, it's still pretty nice. But this is one of those ones where, and maybe I'll get to it. We'll see. I always try to get to these things, and only about half the time I manage to. This is one where I'd almost like to do a redemption review, because again, I feel like a few tweaks here could make all the difference. Take this from being a drink that I like, but that I have issues with, to something that I really find to be special. Again, just maybe choosing oat milk. Maybe, again, just a little extra cinnamon. Just to kind of go over there, I think because I like the concept, and I think it's there. It just, again, it's just tweaking a little bit here and there. So for me, if I were to go back and get it again, it would be based off that idea of, like, let's try to make this work even better. If I'm recommending it, kinda. Like, I don't think it's a bad drink at its worst, but I do feel like it's hard for me to go over there and just outright recommend it, when, again, I do feel like there's certain issues to be had with it. But, depending on, circumstance and your personal preference and stuff, like, it's not a bad drink to try, if nothing else. It's not anything I would dissuade people from, but I will say, out of the drinks that I've had from Brewpoint, I do kind of feel like this one, it's certainly the most disappointing. to be sure, because I came into this with very high expectations. And it's, I would say, probably my least favorite of them. Now, mind you, I still like it a lot more than I've liked probably any drink that I've ever had from Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts. There is a lot to be said for just the quality of the overall beverage. But yeah, this one didn't hit quite as hard as I was hoping. But again, we'll see. Like I said, maybe I'll get to a redemption review. But anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there and have yourselves a truly banana bread-tastic rest of your life, because banana bread is good. It's a good time. I've never been sad when I've had banana bread. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully, do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, what's your personal opinion when it comes to the artificial banana flavor? Of course, it's always been, an interesting, and to be fair, it's a banana extract and, that whole thing. But of course, it is sort of that interesting thing where, like, banana flavoring isn't based off the bananas that we have now. It's based off of the more common type of banana, during, I don't know, like the 40s or some shit, 50s, I don't know. But then that banana went functionally extinct, although it does still exist, just grown in very specific areas. So of course now we have our current banana. But then even that is being threatened by, certain things. Man. It's one of those things, you think about all the advancements we make as a species and, our accomplishments, and then every now and again it's like, bananas are going extinct, bees are dying, and it's like, why can't we stop these things? And it's like, well, because you spent all your time and effort dicking around on, your new iPhone or what the fuck ever, because that's where we put all of our resources. Anyway, bye.